Hey guys, and welcome to another review of Sexless. This is season 3, episode 11, Boundaries. And Boundaries was the right title for this episode because everybody was crossing all kinds of boundaries. Julian, Justin, but let's take it one by one. So in this episode, we meet Wendy's mom, and the scene opens with Wendy's mom making coffee. She's there to spend time with Wendy. So while her mom is there, Julian texts, of course, because Julian is just every fucking where. So Julian texts her and he tells her that she left her jacket in the car, and she was like, okay, I'll get it later. And he's like, well, I'm close by, I could drop by, whatever. And I don't think she sees that text, because at that point she's just, talking with her mom. As soon as he said, I think Julian said like he's in the neighborhood, so he could drop her jacket off. And I'm like, but as soon as he sent that text, the doorbell was ringing. I was like, nah, this Negro is outside. He's outside. He's not even in the car in front of her apartment. He is literally outside the door. So he rings the doorbell. She tries to just get the jacket and let him go on about his way. But her mom is like, oh no, come on in. Come on in. Let's. Her mom is curious. Her mom wants to know, who is this young man? So her mom is thinking, a gentleman coming by early in the morning to just kind of check on my daughter. He must feel some kind of way about my daughter. So she encourages Julian to come in. Julian comes in, and then they proceed to have this very interesting conversation. I must say, y'all already know I don't care for Julian, but I must say I found the conversation that he and Wendy were having with her mom, although her mom wasn't aware of all the subtext. So like the banner kind of like back and forth between them with what they were saying while talking with her was very entertaining and very funny. And I was like, Julian, if you just weren't such a hoe, if you weren't such a dog, I'd be rooting for you, man. I'd be rooting for you. He offers to cook breakfast when he says she doesn't have any bread for him to make them goddamn egg sandwiches. That was funny to me. Okay, and then he was like, well, hey, I can make some omelets. And her mom was like, well, Wendy, surely you have some eggs. So surely, she's like, nope, haven't gone grocery shopping, nope. And so, it's a little bit more banter back and forth. Julian eventually leaves, and that was even funny too, because when he leaves, Wendy also kind of pushes him out the door. So Wendy's mom, doing what a mother would do, she's curious. So she's asking her, like, what's up? Because I guess she feels a certain vibe, a certain energy between Julian and her daughter. So she's like, well, what's up? What's the deal? What's going on with y'all? And Wendy tells her everything. She tells her absolutely everything about them dating. He didn't want a commitment. She ended up dating one of his friends. And she also tells her mom about the abortion. And her mom is absolutely wonderful. Her mom responded to me perfectly. Because, my daughter is 11. But I can guarantee you that if we were to cross that bridge one day, that response we saw today would be my response. First and foremost, it's going to be all about my daughter, her being okay, and I would feel some kind of way about not knowing she went through that, because you would have wanted to be there with her to support her, love on her, because that's our baby. It's a baby. Her mom gave her advice about basically not rejecting love because it didn't either come the way she wanted it to, or even due to all of these circumstances. And she seems to be very specific in saying that about Julian, about this vibe she got about Julian. So I don't know, that was a bit of a reach to me, because you only were in this guy's presence for a few minutes. So I get what she's saying, because I get what she's saying, but she didn't see all these other damn episodes that we've seen, especially the Chef Julian episodes, and with him having sex with people randomly in between people over for some kind of event at his apartment or somebody's apartment. And you're cooking chicken wings, and while your partners are downstairs cooking chicken wings, you're upstairs screwing people. You screwed 2 people in one day. I'm just saying, she's not privy to all of that. So before I move on to the other part, the other story in this episode, which was about Farrah and her situation, y'all know I couldn't leave the situation with Wendy and Julian before I talked about those cornrows. Now look, okay, I was not feeling those cornrows on Julian for a couple of reasons. You know, just first of all, I think he is a little too old for that, and I think that's a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't appealing because it looked like he had a baby hair kind of situation going on before the cornrows started, and he reminded me of this character on The Walking Dead who was only on there for a brief amount of time. It was a brother, but that brother had a jacked up cornrow wig, and Julian's cornrows kind of reminded me of that. So whatever that is, get rid of the cornrows, Julian. So the scene with Farrah opens up with her having a conversation with Brandon. And initially, I absolutely forgot about Farrah hooking Brandon and Noli up, because initially I was like, why the hell are you even talking to Brandon? You shouldn't even be talking to Brandon, because I've forgotten about the fact that she had hooked him up and that Brandon was also a friend of hers. So I was strictly in that perspective of, excuse me, what are you doing? Why are you even talking to Brandon? Choose a side. Choose a side. When she, said in this episode about, her hooking him up, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So calm down, Sandy, calm down. So they were talking about Brandon's situation with Noli, and from this episode and how they were talking, it was being communicated as if they are actually divorced, not getting divorced, but divorced. I just thought that was fast. So anyway, so they're talking about that, and Farrah's kind of prodding and Brandon to kind of basically just explain to her what happened. She was also trying to get him to understand how the situation with his ex would be a deal breaker. And and he was saying some dumbass shit about, I guess I didn't recognize, or I didn't realize, how big of a deal that was, or she just didn't understand. Just bullshit. Just bullshit. He said, of course, he still loves Noli. He would love for them to, because Farrah asked, do you want to fix it? Do y'all want to try to get back together? And he's like, well, I love her. You know how I feel about her. Whatever. I hope Noli does not go back to him. In talking with Brandon says, well, Robert told me that he saw you with a dude. And she's like, what did he say? And how did he say it? What? So, and she responded in the way of someone who likes a person, who when she hears something like that, she's like, well, what do you mean? What did he say? Because you're very curious about how did he say it or whatever, because you also like him. I'm about over it with Farrah, because Farrah just is, I don't know what she thinks she's like some kind of 70s hippie love, where she just love everybody, because her reaction about Robert was a little strong to me. I mean, just last episode, we had you trying to get Justin to say that he cared more than he did. He didn't say it, but that's where you were coming from. And now you got Robert, you hear that he saw you with Justin out, and you're like, oh my God, what did he say? Exactly, Farrah, you're exhausting. After that conversation with Brandon, she then sends a text to Robert, so asking, basically maybe we should get together soon. So they do. So they get together, and here comes Robert, who I call Baby Judah. Y'all remember Judah from that guy? Yeah. So the whole time I was watching him, I said, oh, look at Baby Judah. So they get together. They go to Baby Judah's, one of his friends' store, and they're looking around, and they're just, kind of catching up. And she's telling him that, you know, she's in an open relationship, and he was a little bit surprised by that. She asks him about the status of his relationship, and he lets her know that he's no longer in a relationship, and he's not down with the open relationships, that it wasn't for him, because in his assessment, all that is code for, we basically gonna hang out and we kind of gonna do this until I meet the person I really want to be with. And so Farrah was like, you know, well, not in all circumstances. And that's when she told him, you know, because I'm in an open relationship, blah, blah, blah. All right, so she goes on and talks about that, and, you know, it's just exhausting, because Farrah is just all over the place. She has no idea what she wants. I feel like she has no idea what she's doing, and she's just all over the place. Then we have a scene with her and Justin, and they're putting a puzzle together, because, you know, they would be putting a puzzle together. And so, you know, she has a bag, and the bag actually looked like it was from one of the candle stores in the mall that has like the blue and white checkerboard bag, I think. But anyway, she went shopping, so she had clothes. She had clothes in her bag, and you know, so he was like, well, what's in the bag? Justin was like, what's in the bag? You know, is it lingerie? And she's like, no, it's not lingerie. So, you know, she showed him what she had purchased, like a pair of cute shorts, you know, a shirt. Justin's all kind of salty, because he's trying to question her about, you know, even like with what she shopped for, what the items that she purchased. He was like, so who are you trying to impress? And I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. What's happening right now? I felt like I was watching like some Lifetime movie that was about to go really, really bad. So he's like, well, who are you trying to impress? And, you know, Farrah just being her regular old Farrah self, but not too much the little girl baby Farrah this episode. You know, more of the, you know, she's that still kind of Freddie from a different world kind of Farrah, but she was talking like a grown woman this episode. I was like, thank you, Jesus, because last episode, she almost wore me out with all that baby stuff. But anyhow, so, you know, she basically tells him that, you know, talks to him about Robert, tells him that, you know, Robert is one of her longtime old friends, and that she loves him. And he's like, you love him? And when we met, didn't you tell me, though, that he almost ruined your life? And she's like, no, I never said that. And look, the bottom line is, this is what Farrah's telling Justin, the bottom line is that Robert's my friend. He's going to be in my life. And if you got a problem with that, that's just too bad. Oh, look at grown-up Farrah. She's in there, y'all, like Ragu. She's in there. After Farrah pretty much puts Justin in his place, he backs off, and he's like, you know, I'm just being honest. And she's like, yeah, me too. So that was that. That was the end of this episode. And so I am really, really looking forward to the season finale, because it's going to be the showdown that I've been waiting for between Wendy and Stacy. And even from the clip that we saw as a preview, I already know it's just going to be everything I want it to be. So the season finale of Sexless is on July 22nd, which is next Saturday. I am looking forward to the season finale, while I'm also regretting the season finale, because it's just like it ended way too soon. It feels like it ended way too soon. Thank you guys so much for checking in and watching my review of Sexless. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all feedback. And until the next time, bye.